Welcome back to ESBR Boxing's YouTube channel. I'm joined by Elliot Grigg, which of course means that we are in preview mode. This time we're in Manchester for a huge heavyweight clash between none other than Del Boy Derek Chisora and Otto Wallin. His 49th professional outing, Derek Chisora, being billed as his last ever fight on UK soil. But yeah, before we get into it, if you don't already do so, please do subscribe to our channel. We have all of your boxing needs under one roof. And please also let us know in the comments your thoughts on what we're about to discuss here and in another video so we can refine that content going forward. Elliot, as I said, it's Chisora Wallin. It's the 8th of February in Manchester. And before we kind of give our predictions and stuff at the end of this video, so please do hang about until then if you're watching. We're going to talk about a couple of kind of questions I've come up with that I want to put your way. First of which, Elliot, is if Derek Chisora loses this fight, do you believe he should retire?
First of all, thanks for having me. You know what? It's tough on with Delboy Chisora. I'm a massive Chisora fan, to be honest, inside and outside the ring. I've got a lot of time for him, but I think the argument's already there. A lot of people said he should already be retired. So when you're asking me, should you retire after this one, it's so hard because on the one hand, I think if he gets beaten up badly, possibly, but then equally, it's like, do you want to see Chisora? Will Chisora himself want to go out on a loss? Possibly not. Then equally, it's like, who do you match him against? Who's going to want to step in and fight a Chisora and lose? At that stage of his career. So I think it'd be really hard to match him after this. I think he's implied that he might have another one outside the UK. This is his UK farewell fight, so I expect him to have another one, to be honest, unless he gets badly hurt here. But depending on who that is against, I don't know. And that's kind of why I don't think it's really hard to answer that question, because I wouldn't want to see him in with someone live. I wouldn't want to see him fed to someone, essentially, or fed to one of these younger guys and just get annihilated. I'd want him possibly to go out with a win. I mean, fight someone like Dempsey McKean, whatever, someone that he can kind of beat, and do that maybe, and then go out on the sort of 50th for the 50th fight. But he's lost a lot of fights. There's significant miles on the clock. I don't think this is being harsh to suggest that there are kind of signs of the miles on the clock kind of showing on Chisora, to be honest with you already. So for me, he probably should have retired already. But I think, if he wants to have one more and go out with a victory, then I'm all for it equally, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I mean, I think I agree with everything you've said. It's gotten to the stage where, I do, and probably speak on behalf, we probably speak on behalf of quite a lot of boxing fans, like with no disrespect whatsoever, but I do feel like Chisora should have retired, a year or two ago at least, but he hasn't. So at this stage, you're like, right, this is his 49th fight. He's the underdog. If he's to lose, do you want to end on 49? You want to have one more? 50 fights? He said that before. So if he gets beaten here, I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, hang them up now. You can't have your 50th fight. Depending on the manner of victory, unless he gets absolutely like obliterated. Imagine if he gets battered for a few rounds and then gets brutally stopped. Then I'd maybe be really, just for the sake of his health, I'd really be like, I don't think you need that 50th one, mate. It's not worth any amount of money. But equally, if he loses and it's like a points one or he gets outboxed or something like that, and he doesn't get badly stopped, I'm like, yeah, mate, go and have your 50th fight. Go and earn a big payday, whether that be thrown on a Saudi show just for the novelty of having Chisora on it for your last fight. It sells, but he headlines somewhere else in America, whatever. Who knows? But yeah, I'm not going to sit here and say it. I think it all depends on the manner of defeat. If he, of course, is to lose to Otto Wallin on February the 8th. This kind of leads me on to my next question, Elliot. We were talking there about if he gets stopped, if he gets brutally stopped. Obviously, he'll be going in this to win, and he will have some people believe it. His team will be believing that he wins. I'm sure Frank Warren, who's promoting it, maybe even believes that Derek Chisora is going to get the job done, and people will be believing this. But he is the underdog here. Do you see it as a moral victory for Chisora if he doesn't get stopped?
Yes. Although they're giving my prediction away, but yeah, I actually do see it as a moral victory if he doesn't get stopped. I mean, the weird thing is you look at it and he comes off this, with a victory over Joe Joyce, which again, I'm surprised at that. Obviously, the Gerald Washington one was again another sort of slow kind of affair, wasn't it? It was quite a pedestrian fight. It wasn't a great spectacle. When we're looking at even that fight we had with Pulev, where that was back in 2.5 years ago, man. Like, you look at that, that was a slow pedestrian affair. So for me to fight someone who's 41 now, to then come and fight someone, Otto Wallin, who's 34, all right, not a huge puncher, but significantly better condition, you'd say, than Derek Chisora at this stage of his career. I think it'd be massive if Chisora can get to the end. To be honest with you, I know it's a 10 round fight, but I think he's a tough man as well, obviously. But I do think it'd be surprising if he doesn't get stopped. I'm not necessarily saying he'd be like KO to be out on the ground like Dillian Whitesell did to him, but I can just, if he doesn't, if Wallin doesn't stick the hand speed on him, to be honest, and the fight gets stopped, I think that'd be a moral victory for Chisora. I really do. And that's not giving my prediction away. Maybe I'm going to predict Chisora, but I do think it'd be a moral victory if he gets to the end of this fight. I really do believe that.
Other members of ESBR, of course, we're backing Otto Wallin to beat Anthony Joshua at one stage. So that's kind of the caliber of fighter we're talking about here. Like when you actually look at Wallin, like yeah, he got Joshua destroyed him in 5 rounds. Before that, his only other defeat was to Fury, which went the distance. Obviously, the whole cut thing. Like, but he does have a good win as well. He has a good win against Gassiev. I know Gassiev, albeit maybe better days at cruiserweight, but that was a really good win. He was the underdog there, so he's clearly a capable fighter. All Wallen, not the biggest puncher as you mentioned, but definitely can carry some. Does carry some power in those fists, as does every heavyweight. Let's be honest. Um, without giving my prediction away, because I'm going to make you go first as well. I probably see it as a moral victory for Chisora. Obviously, he won't be thinking of it like that. He'll be going in there to win and like win by any means necessary. And like, a loss for Chisora, whether it be a knockout or point or whatever, in his own mind, he'll feel disappointed and rightly so. But I think kind of looking at it from the outside as we are, yeah, to me, if this goes the distance, and even if he is to lose to Zora, I'm like, do you know what? Fair play to you. Um, yeah. So which kind of leads us on nicely. We've been around the bush a little bit, Elliot. What is your final prediction for Derek Chisora Otto Wall, and how does this one go?
Yeah, you know what, Paul? I think I'm going to agree with your second question. The way we're sort of going with that one, really, I think Otto Wallin's going to win this. I think he'll win it by stoppage. I don't expect him to sort of one punch obliterate Chisora, frankly, but I think look, from what we've seen from Chisora in the last few fights, yeah, he's got one or two sort of round beginning in him, but then obviously just slows significantly, plods forward. His hands are kind of down. He's swinging big punches, overhands, sort of a bit like Dillian White, really, just plodding forward and swinging a big overhand right and trying to catch an opponent. And I just feel like Otto Wallin's going to have the conditioning. He's going to have, like I said, the hand speed and the nous to frankly just stop Chisora. Probably with the accumulation of punches, just the hand speed would be the big difference. So, yeah, I think Chisora will lose this. I think it'll be by stoppage. Is there a chance in the back of? Is there a slim chance that I think Chisora could land on Wallin and stop him? Very slim, frankly. I mean, it could have it could happen, but I don't see it happening. I see, yeah, Wallin by stoppage. Unfortunately, Paul. How about yourself?
Yeah, mate. As much as I want Del Boy to win this, and I'll be backing him to, yeah, I'll be watching, hoping that he does win. Of course. I'll be surprised if he does. I think Wallen wins this. Wallen's actually deceivingly quite big. Um, he's obviously was dwarfed by Fury and Joshua, but he is actually quite big. Wallen, he'll have the size advantage. The southpaw. I mean, I know Chisora's fought like every style there is to fight, but fighting a southpaw at this stage of your career, who's bit of a mover, and who's got a quick hand speed and powerful enough, like probably not the greatest opponent for you on paper. I think Otto Wallen wins by stoppage as well. Probably around 7 or 8. That's probably where my head's at with it. And I do agree with you. I don't think it's going to be like a one punch, one and done kind of thing. I think it would be an accumulation, and maybe the referee jumps in to save Chisora for another day. That's the way I see it going. But I do hope I'm wrong. And part of me is
Yeah.
like, could he just land that one like he did against Carlos Takam? Could he? You know what I mean? He's up against it. He's on the ropes. He just swings it right, and it just lands a flush on the chin of one. Here's hoping, mate. Who knows? Who knows? Stranger things have happened in the sport of boxing, of course. But yeah, I agree with you, mate. I can't say anything other than a Wallen stoppage victory. But guys, please let us know in the comments what you think of this fight, how you see this one playing out, and of course the questions we discussed, whether or not Chisora should retire if he loses, or if it's a moral victory if he does go the full distance here. As always, hit the like button as well and subscribe to the channel if you're not doing so already. Elliot, thanks very much for joining me, mate. I will speak to you again very soon.
Thank you very much, Paul. As always, guys, thanks for watching.